Hello my angry nerds, this is Fanboy and welcome to your daily dose of Starcraft 2, a Legacy of the Void ladder edition. My ladder, to be exact. Yes, my first placement match in Legacy of the Void. And, on top of that, it's on the new patch. To prove it, you don't see a chrono boost there, now do ya? Unfortunately. Very, very unfortunately. I was hitting the C key a lot. Let's just say that one. It was driving me nuts. I'm like, C, chrono boost, just out of pure normalcy. And it was like, nothing's happening. Let me get into this game and I'll talk about all the balance and everything else later. There is me, of course, as good old family. Yes, I am in Legacy of the Void because you can see that I have a different name than normal. I am in the, middle right side of this, whatever this map is. And my opponent is going to be Pernamacunda. I'm going to just call him Pern. Sorry, but I'm just going to call him Pern. Because me and words don't get along. Let's just say that one. Me and pronouncing words do not get along. So, that's the thing. Let's get the production tab open and let's get to talking about this new patch that Blizzard has decided to lay in our laps. When I started this game up today, I was like, okay, well, there's no chrono boost for me. There is still technically inject larva, quote unquote, for Zerg, but it's like, it's only limited to 2 larvae and it's on auto cast, so that's okay, I guess. I'm not a Zerg player, so yeah. But I do play Terran every once in a while, and Terran's late game has completely and utterly changed. Because you can't get rid of all your SCVs and just make a massive army. Because you don't have mules anymore. Before this patch, in late game TVZ or TVT, especially TVT or TVP, it was literally in late game you didn't have to worry about making workers. The only workers you needed were for gas, and if you had enough orbital commands everywhere, and by the 30-minute mark in most late game TV anything, TVP, TVT, or TVZ, you should have plenty of orbital commands. You could just mule farm. I mean, you didn't need any SCVs. You needed a couple sitting around to build things, but the rest of them you could just kill off. And with having no chrono, it's like, what in the world? Pylons have been nerfed as well. At least that's what I call it. If a pylon is next to a gateway or to a nexus, it has more power, quote unquote. If you have a pylon, let's say out here, and you try to warp in, that warp in is going to take centuries, or at least it's going to feel that way. At least that's my experience. In one of these games I'm going to be casting, I don't know if it's this game or not, I was warping in, I think, DTs or something like that, in a pylon. I'm like, huh? No. A pylon that's about right here, I was warping in 2 DTs. And those DTs literally took forever I mean, literally, they took forever to warp in. And for a Protoss that is used to having, let's say, a healthy 10 or 15 warp gates, you can warp in a small army in an instant, anywhere on the map. And now that this pylon buff, or whatever the hell you want to call it, is around in this patch, you've got it's a very big delay. If that makes any sense. Hopefully I can demonstrate in one of these games. But it looks like Perm is using his warp prism to good effect and dropped into my mineral line. I misclicked the zealot and it just kind of rampaged through my little probe line and killed quite a few probes while my army was just kind of chilling up here. So I'm dropping cannons, and yeah. Ooh, excuse me. Big yawn. I will most likely drop a cannon right into my mineral line just to prevent that from ever happening again. I'm gonna box in this cannon as well with a most likely another warp gate eventually. But I've got a small army. Let's see what Perm's up to. Ooh, he has a disruptor, and he's showing it off for us. That's awesome. I don't like disruptors. I never have. Even as a Protoss player, I don't like them. I just don't. Basically, before this patch, you would activate the disruptor's ability, and the actual unit would turn invincible and then turn into like a ball of light. And then you could micro it into units. They're very, very, very good against bio. They're decent against mech, or even anything that's not bio. Sort of kind of like these stalkers. They're machine. So, or mech, as people call it. But now, it's like a cast ability for the disruptor. So you hit the button, you hit the ability, or the button, whatever, and literally a piece of an energy ball comes out of the disruptor, and then you can micro it around to your heart's content. And then it just like disappears once it goes off, and your disruptor can be like in the backfield. Before this patch, these disruptors would have to be in literally the front of the army to have really any type of ability to use their ability. Does that make sense? I hope. I'm hoping it makes sense. Sort of kind of like the Adept. When you press the F button, an Adept turns into two Adepts. One is it's like translucent, like shadow type of thing, and you can micro it away, and then in a certain time period that Adept will blink basically to its shadow. So yeah, that's basically what the disruptor does, sort of, without the blinking ability, thank God. But yeah, blink has been, or no, it wasn't blink, it was charge. Charge now, once zealots have it, the zealot activates the charge, and on impact to an enemy unit, I think it gives like 20% damage or something like that. I don't exactly remember the exact number, but I don't know. Does he have charge? And I don't know where melee, speed, damage 9, armor 2. Ah, here we are. 30 damage. Wow. 7 seconds. So when the Zealot impacts an enemy unit, it gives 30 damage. Well, that's upped. So little things have been changed. It looks like I've gotten an expansion, so it's 3 base against 3 base right now. And I have an army mainly built of Stalker and Adepts at the moment. And I have 1 sentry. So yeah, that's the thing. These 2 Adepts are going to be mighty trouble for me. Pern does have a warp prism, so he doesn't have to have a forward pylon. This little ball, if you don't realize, is a immortal. They haven't got around to actually putting the immortal unit shape, or whatever it's called. Here comes the Adept. There you go. Look at what that Adept can do, even to mech units, non-biological units, like a Stalker. That's insane. That's crazy. But yeah, these Stalker, this Immortal is just a big ball. Or it's actually technically a half spear. But let me zoom out real quickly. So you've got a large army going back and forth here. You have DTs from Kern up here destroying my gateways. And then now they're like, oh, there's Stalkers down here, so I'm gonna go kill them. So yeah, that's the thing. Adept does go off and kills like half my Stalker group. That's just wrong on so many levels. I think you can warp in a little bit quicker at the warp prism than you can with a pylon out in the middle of nowhere. Oh, here comes an Adept. There goes all my probes. I didn't warp in DTs right at the last second, but they do have an observer, unfortunately. And he's bringing in his own Adepts. So, DT on DT action, not anymore. But I call GG, and he says GG back, so I leave. Because I was pretty much done for. If you didn't see earlier, they had Zealots up here massacring my probe line up here. So, what I was going to do was bring out the good old Colossus, because they could pretty much outrange pretty much anything you had. And I was going to get an observer. There you go. But I hope you guys like this game. I have another ladder game that I played on this patch. These games are played like literally the same day this patch comes out. So on the 20th, I think. Is it the 20th? Let me look at my phone. Yes, it is the 20th. That's why the Immortal doesn't technically have a body to it yet. They didn't add it, I guess? So it's like a half spear that's different shades of gray. And I think a little bit of red. So yeah. The first game I played, the opponent had a bunch of them. And I was like, what in the world are those things? Is this a new unit that I never heard of? No, they're just Immortals that don't really have a body yet. So I hope you guys enjoyed the game. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button. And for more StarCraft 2 action, please hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys in the next game. Toodles!